2020 was a rough year, not only in personal lives, but in work lives and social lives and everything in between. And in the gaming world, we had some knockout games and some very meh titles this year as well, on top of games having countless issues. So, the following list are the top 10 games in 2020 that I have played that I really think you should check out at some point. I will give an honorable mention to Cyberpunk 2077. Even in all of its issues, I'm still enjoying the game. While I'm not going to put it on my list because I haven't finished it, I want to say that I am having a blast with it. Not only just in the graphics department, but also in the storytelling elements. There are so many times that this game reminds me that it plays like a tabletop RPG, which takes me back to my childhood in high school where I used to play tabletop RPGs. So, on that note, yeah, it's not on the list, but I want to give it a shout out for now. Even with all of its issues, I'm still having a blast. Number 10, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I'll be honest, this game really kind of builds on the Hyrule Warriors concept. It really doesn't do too much to go against the grain here. It's good old hack and slash fun. You get these big sprawling maps with just hundreds and hundreds of enemies. And it's just kind of fun to run around and kill them all. And on top of that, you have some great characters. Everybody from Breath of the Wild is showing up. And it's just fun to kind of switch between these characters with different movesets and different attack variances. On top of that, with some amazing cutscenes that are very well voice acted. And I made this comment before, I would love to see this be an actual show at one point, because it's just that pleasant to watch. Does it do anything to rewrite anything amazing? No, but it's a good, fun hack and slash game. Number 9, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. This game screams my childhood. Between playing this on the Dreamcast to playing this on my PC when I had one as well, this game just brought back so many great memories. And in a great way. This isn't like your Tony Hawk 5, which really fell flat on its face. This is how you do a remaster. You bring it in, you tighten it up, you gussy it up pretty good, and you throw some kick-ass music in here. The music tracks are what just take me back to a different time. While I'll be honest, I'm not very good at the game, there's just something nostalgic about doing tricks and then falling flat on my face. What can I say? But either way, it's great to go around to all these original maps. The soundtracks of new and old mixed in here. It makes me smile so much. Oh, and on top of that, you have couch co-op with all these different modes, and it just adds so much value to this game bundle. And it's definitely one that, whether you're good at it or not, you can still have a good time playing around with friends. Number 8, Resident Evil 3. Now, it's no secret that I was a huge fan of Resident Evil 2 in 2019. The remake did such a great job, and so I was pretty pumped for this title. And for the most part, it did land good with me. I loved playing as Jill Valentine. She is a kick-ass woman in this game. The graphics, the tense moments of all the stuff going on in this Resident Evil world was so new to me. I never played Resident Evil 3 or 2 back in the day, and so to experience those for the first time was so satisfying. There were a couple moments that I feel like the game sped itself up or tried to be too, let's keep the pace going. Because there were some times I really wish we could have drawn it out and added a little bit more padding in between sections of the game. But overall, from the graphics to the voice acting, the world itself, and the gun handling, all was on point and was so much fun. On top of that, I did like playing as Carlos as well. I thought he was a really great character. And yeah, it just made a well-rounded Resident Evil 3 remake. Number 7, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Kind of similar concept to Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. Spider-Man was a huge game that I loved in 2018. I fell in love with that game and its characters. Spider-Man Miles Morales definitely builds on that feeling quite a bit. I loved playing as Miles. He's a great character. I loved interacting with his family. And the world itself on the PlayStation 5 just feels great and it looks great. There were a couple areas that I felt like the storyline was kind of sped up and a little too rushed. I would have liked some more time to let these characters bake with us. Let me get to know them. Let me understand them a little bit more before we all of a sudden start jumping from plot to plot to plot to not really give me time to soak it all up. The combat in this game is fantastic, smooth, and it just has some great movesets to it, along with, again, a great cast of vocal artists and, graphically speaking, just a gorgeous game. Definitely an easy title to recommend for PlayStation owners to experience the next evolution in the Spider-Man franchise. Number 6, Command & Conquer Remastered. What can I say about this game? This game embodies my childhood even more than Tony Hawk did. I sat with my eyes glued to the computer screen as a child. Anytime I could visit my aunt's house that had this on their computer, I played this for countless hours because it was so addicting to me. The real-time strategy games I know are not big nowadays, but this game just embodies so much fun to me. Between base building, the storylines that have the cheesiest lines, the cheesiest FMV videos in there, but that are just so satisfying for some crazy reason. This game sparked a franchise that lasted for so long, and it warms my heart to see the Westwood team come back and work on a game like this. Graphically speaking, it looks really good, and you can switch back and forth between how it used to look in today's standards. The storyline options in here are phenomenal. Being able to play as both the Allies and the Soviets is super fun. On top of that, the skirmishes that you can go online and play against other people. It just is a well-rounded remaster. Number 5, Nioh 2. Now, it's no surprise that I'm a huge Souls-like fan. Anytime a new one comes out, I'm usually right there to try to play it and pick it up. Nioh 2 builds on what Nioh started, a solid franchise that has potential to do even better. And Nioh 2 kind of keeps building on that. It has some great combat in it, good world building, and some very memorable bosses for both good and bad reasons. I like the change up on the weapons. I like the concept of the demon form. These added just more spice to the Nioh franchise. Another thing that added some much needed personality were the side characters. You had these two partners eventually that traveled with you and added a little bit more to the cutscenes to just add that little bit of flair to things. And overall, voice acting was pretty solid. Sure, there were a couple bosses in there that were cheap, for the lack of better words, and I'm looking at you, Snake Boss. But once you get through and once you start practicing at these kind of games, this is a great stepping stone title. This will get you ready to play things like Dark Souls and Demon Souls, in my opinion. And it's definitely a game that I'm going to play again with the remastering on the PS5. Number 4, Demon Souls. What can I say? Yet again, another example of a fantastic Souls game. Actually, one of the firsts. And I have to be so honest with you, this game did such a great job on the PlayStation 5. Both in the graphics department, the quick loading, and just Bluepoint did an amazing job taking a game from the PS3 era, remaking it from the ground up, and staying true to a lot of the original things that were in Demon Souls, but giving it their polish. The game can be difficult at times, but there's also a lot of times that I felt like the game did such a good job setting the pacing right. The combat felt so smooth. The music tracks in this game were just fantastic. Weapons felt like they had weight to them. And the graphics of all the NPCs, the vocals for them on top of that, were just so well done. Yet again, a beautiful example on how you need to do a remake. And Bluepoint, yet again, they showed they can do this. Number 3, Hades. Now, I will be the first to admit I hate roguelites. I suck at them, and I feel like I never get anywhere with them because they constantly beat me down, send me back to the beginning and say, figure it out. And this is just a deeper thing than what Souls games do. However, Hades, this game is fantastic. I've been recommending it to anybody and everybody I can talk to because it is so fun. Playing as Zagreus and having this Greek mythos to everything just is such a treat. Everybody has personalities. Everybody has some amazing dialogue. And the graphics here, while on the surface look very okay, like nothing overly amazing here, it's in the details. Not only just in the world, but again, the characters themselves. Playing as Zagreus is just so much fun, zipping around the map, getting to choose different weapons, and just taking it to your dad, trying to get out of hell. And probably the biggest thing, since this is a roguelite, that I do enjoy is the fact that if I die, I do get some upgrade materials and some options to try to better myself for the next run. And while this isn't a game I've done for the channel yet, I've been playing it on my own just because I've been having fun with it. And I just been playing it on my Switch even, and just sitting on the couch doing some runs. It's engaging, it's fun, and it's one of these games that even if you're not a roguelite fan, I definitely recommend because they did such a bang-up job on it. Number 2, Death Stranding. Now, while this one did come out in 2019, I'm putting it on my list because, well, the PC version released this year. I freaking loved this game. Death Stranding to me was a game that I've been sinking over 100 hours in and just enjoying it. Between the characters, the animations, everything just looks so good. It blows me away so many times. I still get a grin when I'm coming up over a hill and you see just the details in the land. The concept of delivering boxes from point A to point B seems so mundane and so small to most people. And I understand it's not for everybody. But to me, I get this sense of satisfaction out of it. Of, oh, I'm going to grab that. I'll take that with me. And I pick it up and I keep trucking along and I drop it off at the next place. And I really just get into that social aspect of it of, somebody dropped this. Or somebody lost this. I should probably give them a hand. I still go around, even after at the end game, I'm going around building bridges and items for people to help them on their journeys. Because there's just something satisfying about it all. The combat in the game, when you do run into the areas with the BTs, your first couple times are a little stressful. But after that, you know kind of how to face them. And the rest of the combat in the game is very marginal and not the greatest in the world. But where this game really shines is in its storytelling aspects, and I just love it. And number 1, Ghost of Tsushima. I go play it. Like, just play the game and you'll know why it's my number 1. This game does such a great job telling the story of Jin and how he evolves as a person. Being the last one on the battlefield, Jin has to make decisions on upholding his honor to upholding his island, his people. And he makes those self-sacrifices without hesitation. This world is so gorgeous and so beautifully handcrafted. The combat is on such a different level. It feels so fluid, almost intimate. And on so many levels, this game just shows what Sucker Punch can do. They really drove it home in this game. The characters in it, the soundtrack, the combat, the world, everything hits on a note unlike anything else. The game was released on the PS4, and I have to be honest that if this was the last game on the PS4 ever released, this would be the top game of my life on there because it did such a great job and gave the PlayStation 4 a proper goodbye at the end of its generation. So, that wraps up my top 10 games in 2020. I would love to hear what you guys think. Do you agree with my list? Do you not agree with the list? Are there games that you thought that were better than others? I'm just very curious on this. I love hearing what people have to say because how I play games and how I interpret them is completely different than how you do. So let me hear in the comment sections what your guys' top games were for the year. And on that note, I hope everybody has a fan-freaking-tastic 2021, and I hope to see everybody here. So thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give the video a like. It does help me out quite a bit. Also, check out the channel because I have tons of videos going on over there. Until next time, you guys, Stay frosty.